Hello everyone, my name is Rakesh and today is our day 7 of Google Cloud Foundational Learning Series. And today's session we are going to understand about what is IAM. So in today's session we will learn about what is IAM, what is roles, permissions in GCP, and what is least privilege access in GCP, and using IAM, how can you secure your Google Cloud environment? So in today's session, what we are going to do is I'll be explaining you some theory first, and meanwhile simultaneously I will also show you how actually this looks in Google Cloud as well. So in today's session, theory plus live demo will be there, so it will be very easy for you to understand what is IAM and how it works in GCP cloud. So let's start with first. So first, what is IAM? So Google Cloud IAM is used to control like who can access what resources in Google Cloud. So using IAM, you can define which user can have access to a bucket or which user can access to particular VM. So all those settings can be done using IAM. So now I'll show you IAM dashboard, like how actually it looks like on Google Cloud. So as I've already told you, in today's session, I will be like showing you one part of theory and then a demo so that you can't forget the concept. So as now we can move to IAM dashboard. So I'll show you how actually it looks like on Google Cloud. So as I've already logged in into Google Cloud, so I'll show you how you can navigate to IAM dashboard. So you need to click on this navigation menu, and here you can see IAM. So just click on IAM. So you can see here all these details such as principal, name, roles. So I'll be explaining you each and everything in detail. Now let's move to our PPT part. So in Google Cloud IAM, there are three main components, such as first is identity, second one is roles, and the third one is permission. So we'll understand each component in detail. So first start with identity. So identity is nothing but a entity that requires access on Google Cloud resources. So that means like a user or service account. It's called an entity here. So those entity will require some kind of permission on your Google Cloud project to do some action. A Google Cloud can be an entity, service account is an entity, Google Groups is an entity. So similar way. So you can assign permission roles to Google accounts, such as let's say my account can have access on particular Google project, or you can assign some service account a specific role onto Google Cloud to perform some actions. Similar way for Google Groups, Workspace, and identity domains as well. So this is called identity. The second part is roles. So roles is nothing but a set of permission that we assign to an identity. So a role is nothing but set of permissions. Like let's say you have to assign a storage admin permission to specific identity or entity. So storage admin is a set of permissions. So inside that there are a lot of permissions are added, and combination of that is called role. So similar way, role is like it is set of permission that we assign to an identity. So mainly there are three types of role available in Google Cloud. First one is called basic roles. Second is predefined roles, and third one is custom roles. So basic roles means, so there are three roles that are under basic role category. So first one is called owner, that have all the permissions on your Google Cloud project. Second is editor, which has like all the operations and all the editing related access. However, editor cannot assign role to itself. And the last one is viewer. So viewer is who can view all the resources in your Google Cloud project but can't perform any actions in it. Second one is predefined roles. So predefined role is nothing but there are more than 1,000 roles which Google has already created for you that are called predefined roles that you can use directly. Let's say you want to have some permission or VM. Let's say you want to manage VM. So you and you want to have compute VM admin permission. So you can directly search that compute VM admin in the permission tab, and you can see those predefined roles. So that is called predefined roles. And the last one is custom roles. So custom roles is nothing but, let's say you want to assign some permission but there is no predefined role, or even the basic role doesn't have that access, or you don't want to use basic role in that case, and the existing predefined roles does not provide that permissions. So what you can do in custom roles, you can manually add permissions to it. So based on the permission, you can create a custom role. So you can add specific permissions to a particular role and create it. So Google provides you ability to create custom roles as well. And last one is permission. So now see what is permission. So as definition suggests, permission defines specific action that can be performed on resources. So on resources, whatever roles you are assigned, so what specific action it is going to perform, it depends on the permission. So as there are two example I've mentioned, let's say one permission is storage object create. So that means you can create objects in cloud storage. So this is called permission. And second one is compute instant start. So it allows you to start a virtual machine. So this is permission, and combination of these permissions are called roles. So roles is nothing but there are multiple permissions are added and become a role. So that is called role. And permission is nothing but a specific action that can be performed on resources. So as now I've explained you about like all the three entities, like identity, role, and permission. Now I'll show you a live demo how actually you can assign permission or a role to a specific entity. So let's move to Google Cloud. So click on Grant Access tab. So here we'll try to first assign a specific role to a user. So new principal is nothing but a identity here. So here you can, let's say I'll mention my email ID. So that become a identity here. So as also you can see here, add one of the following here, either add Google account email or Google group email or service account or Google workspace domain. So we have our Google account email ID, so that I've added. Second part is role. So as I've told you about roles, so there are like three main roles. One was basic, then predefined, and the custom one. So here I'll show you two types. One was basic and another is predefined. So let's see basic one. So in basic, as you can see, if you click on basic, I think now Google also added one more role here in basic, that is called browser. So that was missing in my PPT. So in basic, you can see that there are four main roles that you can assign. Let's say you don't want to assign any predefined roles, and you want to have user a specific type of roles which he can do. So you can assign any of the four roles here, but you have to make sure you don't provide access more than he required. So let's say each role what it provides, the browser is like used for access to browse GCP resource. Editor, you can see that view, create, update, and delete most Google Cloud resources. See the list of included permission. Owner will have full access on Google Cloud resources, and viewer will have only view the access on Google Cloud. So let's say we'll give editor role to myself and click on save. So Let's say if I using this email ID when I log in to Google Cloud, I'll have the editor permission. So I will also show you by login using my email ID, and see what access do we get on Google Cloud Console. So next we'll try to assign some predefined roles. So let's take one service account here. We already have some service account. We'll try to use those. So we'll use this service account, and this time we'll assign predefined roles. So predefined roles are nothing but these roles that you can see here. All are predefined roles except these roles. So predefined roles that are already created by Google for you. So let's say I want to assign storage admin role to this service account. So you can just search here storage admin. So you can see there are so many roles are listed here. So you can select any one of them. So let's say in my case, I want storage admin role. So I'll click on storage admin and click on save. So this way, I am able to assign storage admin role to this service account. Okay, so now we have seen how we can assign predefined roles and basic role. And the last part is uh, how we can use custom rules. So to use custom roles, first you need to actually create the custom role so that you can assign that custom role to identity. So in our case, we don't have any custom role created. So first I need to create a custom role. So you need to click on roles tab here, and so and using this create role, you can create the custom role. But before click on create role option, give the name custom role. Let's say demo custom role. I'll give the name demo custom role. This is a description if you want to add. ID is custom role. I'll keep this role alphabet. Keep it as alpha. And this is the main part. What permission you actually want to assign to that custom role. So you need to click on add permission. So you need to search, either search or you can also see the existing permission list here. So click what role you need. So I'll click couple of permissions here, and using that I'll create a custom role. So I have selected these 4 permission here. Click on add, and as you can see, those 4 permissions are added here now. And I'll click on create. So as you can see now, demo custom role is created. Let's try to use this custom role to any identity. So click on IAM again. So let's say I'll edit this. Like in this demo, I'll also show you like how we can edit the existing role as well. So just click on edit principal here. So for this user, if you want to revoke any access, you can also do that. Let's say, and if you want to add more role, you can also do that. So we'll just try to search our custom role demo. So you can see demo custom role. Click on that and click save. So this way, you can assign a custom role to identity. Similar way, you can assign that custom role to service account as well. So, so I've explained you like how we can create a custom role, and if you don't want to create custom role, you can always use predefined roles or the basic role. I will always suggest you to use the predefined roles, because predefined roles lets you do the things which you want. Or even if you're assigning any roles to anyone, always try to use predefined roles, because based on that you can assign specific roles or permission to a user or a service account, rather than using the basic roles, because basic rules has lot of capability in it. Like for example, if you are using editor basic rule, so editor can perform so much of actions, and even if your user doesn't have to do so much on the cloud, still he'll have so much access. So I will always suggest you to use predefined roles. Now let's see how actually IAM works behind the scene. So what I will do, let's say you have assigned some entity a role. So in this case, I have assigned an identity as compute image user role. And let's say if that user is trying to access some other thing apart from this, So what IAM will do, first it will go ahead and check based on organization if that identity have any role based on organization. If yes, and if that user have the specific permission to perform that action, it will allow that. And if the user is trying to perform some action that is not allowed, or user doesn't have that specific role, let's say I have assigned a storage admin role to myself, and then I'm trying to create a VM. So what I will do, I will check what permission a user have. So in this case, user has storage admin role, and what action user is trying to perform. So user is trying to perform to create a VM. So it should not be allowed, because user have access to create buckets or delete bucket, but user is trying to create VM. So that action is not allowed. And what IAM will do in this case, it will deny that request. So this way IAM actually works. Least privileges. So least privileges means only provide the permission that is required. Let's say you have hired some new engineer who will be working on a VM, and I mean his task would be to create VM, delete VM, or anything that is related to VM. He'll be working on that stuff only. So in that case, what least privilege mean is, you will only assign the user a least privilege role, such as VM uh, editor role or VM admin role, so that he can only able to do stuff in VM. Apart from that, he will not able to do any stuff. So this is mean least privilege role. Only assign the role that is required to user, not more than that. Access boundaries. So limit identities to specific resource. So this is the same as I've explained. Assign a specific role to specific identity. So the identity is here to work on VM. So assign specific role only. If you have hired new guy who will be working on, let's say on BigQuery, he'll be working on something like that. So in that case, assign BigQuery admin or user role to that user. Do not assign much broader role. Just assign the specific role, so that he can only work on that specific role. So this way you can manage the access boundaries as well. There is one more thing you can use, PM, which can be help you to assign temporary elevated access for critical tasks. As so, let's say you have a user who is here for only managing VM, and you have already only assigned a VM specific role to that user. But due to some circumstances or some there is issue on your production, you want to assign some storage role to him. So in that case, you can assign a specific role based on the time. So Google provide you facilities there. You can provide a storage admin role for us 1 hour or 2 hours. So based on the time, you can assign that role to user, and as soon as that 2 hours is completed, that role will be vanished from backend, and then user will not have that access. So you can also use this. Now I'll actually show you how this actually works in Google Cloud. I will show you everything, like how we can provide least privileges to user, access boundaries, how you can maintain, and how you can use the PAM in Google Cloud. So okay, now I'll show you how actually we can do this on Google Cloud, how we can use us our least privileges, and how we can define the access boundaries. So let's say we have a one user to whom we only want to assign a VM specific role, not everything. So we'll take one of my email ID that we recently assigned the editor role, and we'll try to perform that demo in it. So I've already logged into my account. So first I'll check if I have the access to this project or not. So I've already logged in. We'll try to see if I can see that project or not. Okay, yeah, so I can see this project D57. Yeah, D57. I can access it. Now I'll see if I am able to create VMs or not. So go on VM. So as you can see, I have the option to create the VMs and everything. So just quickly try to create one VM. I'll keep everything default because I have to show some other things to you. So I'll quickly create the VM here. So meanwhile, we'll see what else, what other access I have. So I'll try to see if I have the access to create the networks or not. So I have the access to create the VPC network as well. So now let's see if our VM is created or not. So our VM is created. So all those permissions that user is able to perform on the specific project is due to the permission that that we have assigned here. So editor role is like very wide role, which has so many things you can do on Google Cloud project. This role mostly cannot be used for, like, if you want to give some specific role to user. So in that case, what we'll do here, we'll change this permission from user, and this time we only assign a specific role that is related to VM. And in that case, he will only able to either list the VMs or he can view the VM, but he can't able to delete the VM. So how we can do that? So first you need to delete this role, because this is providing the very wide capabilities to the user, and click on add role again and try to find what are the best roles you can assign to. Click on compute list. Let's search with VM. So as you can see there, for compute admin, there are multiple roles. Compute admin will provide full control, and then instance beta, and then there are so many roles that is present which you can assign. Let's say if you want to assign very basic role to user. So compute admin is the basic role. After you assign the compute admin role to user, then the user will only able to perform actions that are related to VM, and he will not able to do some other stuff. So I'll show you that as well. So click on save. So yeah, it may take a few minutes for these changes to become active. So we'll log in there. So click refresh. Everything is so now let's see what else we are able to do now, because this time we only have compute admin role to this project. So let's say I'll try to do something on Cloud Run. If I have the access or not, I'll see. Okay, so I have access to Cloud Run as well. So the permission is still working in backend. It haven't taken the effect yet. Even one more thing you can do, like the roles which you are trying to assign, you can check what permission it actually assigned to user. So what you can do, then go to GCP IAM, and you can search that role. It will give you a detail about what permissions that role does have. So yeah, as you can see, compute admin. So compute admin has this many role. It can work on disk, images, instant template, node group, node template, and snapshot. So everything related to this VM, it is able to work. Apart from this, like let's say if it's trying to access some other thing which is not part of this list or this permission list, then user will not able to perform those actions. So you can see there is nothing related to Cloud Run. Cloud function is here. So we'll see if we are able to create Cloud Run or not. So it should be not, but I think the permission haven't taken effect yet. As I told you earlier, it could take 1 or 2 minutes to permission to take effect, because we have removed the editor and then we have given the compute admin role. So see, now you can see I'm not able to actually create the compute the Cloud Run functions. And previously, as you have seen, I was able to create this because I had the editor role, and now I only assigned the user a compute admin role. So now he will only able to perform the actions related to compute. So this way you can assign least privileges to user. So now I'll show you how PM works. Like, as I've told you in the theory, that you can use privilege access management, and you can assign a specific permission for specific time frame only. So in this case, as one of our user already have permission to create VMs and delete the VMs. Apart from that, he doesn't have any other permission. Let's say he we want him to do some activities on Cloud Run, like for temporary basis, like we want to assign him some temporary access on Cloud Run. So as you can see currently, currently he doesn't have access to create anything on Cloud Run, because he doesn't have those permissions. So what we'll do using PAM, for temporary basis, we'll assign some permissions to the user to create Cloud Run function for specific time, and once that time is completed, those permissions should already be removed. So for that, click on this PAM option. Okay, so we'll click on create PAM, and first we have to create the entitlements. So let's say we are doing this for temporary testing. Select role, what role you want to assign. In this case, we'll use a Cloud Run admin rule. Maximum duration, we'll select 1 hour. Click next. Request principal whom you want to assign. So I'll give his email ID. And for the current time, like I'll not ask for justification. We'll do one more example where I'll select all these options, and approver also will keep nothing for now. So create the entitlements. It usually takes like 30 seconds to 1 minute to entitlements to get created. However, to show this on user screen, it takes like 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll see if the user is able to see the entitlement or not. So you need to click on IAM and then click on PAM. So he is not seeing any entitlement yet. Usually, like as I said earlier, usually it takes 2 to 3 minutes to actually show it here. So what it will show here, like the entitlement which we have created on our main account, to have this user a cloud and admin access for 1 hour. So similar entitlement it will show here, and then user need to request for access. In our case, we haven't added any approver yet. So this time what happens, as soon as user will see that and he will request for that access, he will automatically get it, because we haven't added any approver in the backend. Even we'll do one more scenario where we'll add one approver, and in that case when user will try to request, what happens. So I will also show you that as well. But yeah, we need to wait for a couple of minutes to actually see that entitlement here. And I think it's there. As you can see, we have created the temporary testing entitlement name, and then Cloud Run was the permission. 1 hour is the maximum duration user can have, and status is showing available. So click on request grant, and the similar details are there. And there is one more option which you can select, scope, customize scope. For this use case, like we have only selected one role, so that you don't have any options to select different. So let's say if you have selected two more roles, so then you had option to select specific role. So this case will have as a default. grant duration, you can have maximum 1 hour, but you can want less than that, you can also do that. So we'll select 30 minutes. Justification is testing, and we'll click request grant. So as we haven't had any approver in the backend, so this went to active status as soon as we click on grant. So now we'll see, do we have access to actually create Cloud Run function or not now. So click on Cloud Run. Okay, as of now, not. Okay, I don't have permission yet. So as like whenever you assign some role to any entity, it usually takes a minute to actually reflect those permissions. So we'll wait for a minute. Okay, still I don't see the access. However, okay, still we don't see the access. However, when you hover to deploy container part, it says the Cloud Run admin API is not enabled. You don't have permission to enable it. So first we have to have the permission to actually enable this API. Then only we'll able to create Cloud Run. So first we have to get this permission. So we'll check what permission is actually required. Cloud Run admin API. So we'll see what permission is required to enable the APIs. So we'll see APIs. APIs. Okay, so we need the permission service usage, service enable access to enable the API. So we'll do one more scenario here. Like in PAM itself, we'll assign that particular role for an hour to first enable the API, and then you create the Cloud Run functions. So for API enable, so we'll give this role. So we'll see like which role does it have permissions. So as we are not able to find anything here, so what we'll do, we'll try to search here. What which role does this have? Service usage. So we want to have service usage enable role. So we'll see which role does this permission have. So we'll search here. So it is under editor. So these are the roles which contains that. So we can see editor has that permission. So what we can do here, for temporary basis, we'll assign the editor role to it. So we'll okay. So we'll assign editor role for an hour. But as you can see that we can't assign editor role using this. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and manually create the APIs using our main account. So we'll go here, Cloud Run, because our this main account does have that permission. So we'll using this, we'll assign that, because PAM doesn't have, it's not allowing us to enable the editor role. So we'll enable the API in this project. So we'll manually enable this API here. So as you can see, that this API is enabled now. Now I'll check on my another project if that API is enabled or not. So just we'll refresh it to see if. Okay, now we can see that we have the option to manage. That means the API has been enabled. So now we'll see if we have Cloud Run admin permission or not, because that is what we have assigned through PAM. So we'll search for Cloud Run here. Okay, as now you can see that I have option to deploy container, connect repo, all the option which was previously grayed out. Now I'm able to use that. So this is what using PAM you can assign some specific permission for specific interval of time. So so this is mostly useful, like you have a user who has specific access, but due to some prod issues or some other issues, you want to assign some role to that user. However, you don't want to assign a permanent role to that user. So using PAM, you can temporarily assign that role, and as soon as that time finishes, that role will automatically get removed in the backend. So this is how PAM works. So I'll also show you like what other options available in IAM, which is useful. So as you can see that IAM, we have seen PAM. I've just told you about PAM. Then there is one more option, that is security insights. So it shows like whatever the roles you are using, does that role meet all the requirements, or you can have less permissions, and based on that your work can be done. And then principal access boundaries. We'll see what is principal access boundaries here, how it looks like. Okay, I think I can't see this feature because I'm using my demo account and it doesn't have organization, so I can't see it. And what else I can show you? You can use policy troubleshooter if you have facing any issues, like you are assigning any permission, but it doesn't working perfectly. So you can also check the permissions. Let's say I'll try to use my email ID and see how this works. So let's say you tried, I have assigned this user a Cloud Run function admin, Cloud Run permission, as well as compute permission. So we'll try to select some other resource to see how this goes. So I have this project. Let's say I select a resource called SQL admin. So I'll see if I can. Okay, I don't have the VM. So maybe I'll have to select VM. So now, as you can see that I can see one instance. We'll see if I can access it or not. I should be check access. Okay, value is required. So the boundaries is unknown because I haven't set any access boundaries, deny permission is unknown, and it permits the access because I had the access to do that stuff on instance. So this is how policy troubleshooter result shows. Let's say if I didn't have the access, so it may have shown denied or something like that. So based on policy, I do have access. And then there is one more option, policy analyzer, you can also use. So this is how policy analyzer looks like. And then there is one more useful thing here, that is service account. So you can see how many service account do you have, and if you want to create service account, you can just click on create service account and give the name temp SA and description temporary purpose, create and continue, and then you can assign what role that service account should have. I'll give a very basic role to him, viewer. Click on continue. Service account user role, if you want to give some user on that user that service account role, so you can also use that. In this case I don't want, so I'll click on done. So this way you can create the service account, and this can, and how you can assign the permissions also. So this is all we had for our day 7 Google Cloud Foundational Learning series. So if you like so if you understand this, so if you if you understood today's session, gives me a thumbs up, and subscribe our channel for more such videos. And even if you want, I can share the Google Cloud, and even if you want, I can share the Google Docs link where using which I have prepared this demo, as well as if you want, I can share the PPT in my description box where you can have that PPT. So thank you guys, thank you for joining in.